Rise and shine, mothers and brothers and cheese wedges and chin straps and handlebars all over the world. Happy to have you join me on my ride to work today. I want to talk about one specific thing today: risk. Look down at your feet right now. You're standing up, look down at your feet. There's a line in front of you at your feet. That line is called risk. Everything that you want is on the other side of that line. You got it? Everything that you want in life is on the other side of that line. There's two lines. There's hard work and then there's risk. Work is putting in the time, paying your dues. But there's a lot of people who put in their time and pay their dues and produce all the right ingredients to the recipe and still don't get where they want. If you want to exceed your goals, if you want to get farther, you have to risk. I remember seeing a book. It was a very popular book for those of you that are a little bit older, in the 70s, and the book was called Why Am I Afraid to Tell You Who I Am? That's kind of a strange title for a book now, isn't it? But what happened is the author has that title, and then he spent a couple hundred pages answering it. And I can answer it in a sentence or two. Question: why am I afraid to tell you who I am? Answer: because if I tell you who I am afraid that you might reject me. That's pretty much it. I'm afraid that you will reject me. You might not accept me. And acceptance is a big thing. It's a powerful thing. We like to be liked. Now, if you're the kind of person that makes money not being liked, you know, the media characters who are just always, you know, like the WWE guys, some of the guys that are the most financially successful are the ones that get booed the most and get hated the most. And a lot of times in the media that's the case too. There's a lot of people on YouTube that you're probably watching that you're more fascinated by them. You don't really like them. You're more fascinated by them because they're like a train wreck. It's the freak factor. It's not really because they're saying anything of value. It's just pure freak factor. That's all it is. Back to the original. Everything you want is on the other side of that line called risk. Whatever you can do to build up your trust for the future. The future is not a scary thing for you if you build up your risk muscles. If you're not used to risking and stepping over that line, then the future can be a very scary place. Peter Drucker said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. You're not sitting back and letting life happening, and then, you know how people just say, you know, shit happens. It's not like that. You make stuff happen. It just doesn't happen to you. Now, there are things that happen just randomly. That's just a fact in life. Things happen. I don't understand all the reasons. I don't know why bad things happen to good people. Rabbi Kushner spoke about that many, many years ago. Why do bad things happen to good people? I have no idea why. No idea. Anyone who pretends they know is speculating. Take my word for it. So you have to risk to get ahead in life. I remember a very famous radio guy with a daily radio show had a bunch of entrepreneurs in a semicircle seated on stools, and he went from one to the other. And he was asking them what was the secret to their success, financially, that was. And we're just talking finances, not anything else. They could have 10 divorces, I don't know. But for their financial success. And I would imagine that the same factors can spill over into your personal life as well, your love life, and so forth. What is the secret to your success? And he was putting the microphone in their faces, and the majority of them said this: risk. I took risks. And that was the beginning of my risk journey. was when I started doing things that I'm not necessarily prepared to do, not necessarily confident to do. Sometimes it's great when you do things when you're not ready. You don't have to, if you wait until the conditions are perfect before you make your move. You want to draw comics and be the next great Stan Lee? You want to be the next Bill Nye the Science Guy? You want to be a congressperson? You want to be a politician? You want to design the next badass electric car? You want to be the next Tesla? You want to be the next whatever? Think about who is someone that you respect and read, and someone that wows you. You want to be that next person, or at least fall into that category. You want to be the next Ray Kurzweil. Take a risk and do it. Take a risk. You want to be the next big broadcaster? Do it. I know I'm going to be the first big bearded national television shopping host. I look great when I'm cleaned up. Clean shaven, haircut nice, very executive looking. Those days are over with for me. It was too much work looking like a Ken doll. I like my beard. It's a great identifier for me. It's like wearing my business card. I have gained more notoriety in the past year because of my risking efforts than I have in decades of building up a resume. Right now, in this time in history, you have the ability to do stuff with your career, with social media, and with the way that we can present ourselves. You can go further now, and you have an opportunity to strike gold now more than ever in history. I think it's only gonna increase. It's only gonna get better. But right now, get on the train, man. Get on the train. You could have fame and fortune. You could just have fortune. You could have fame. I know a guy that wrote wonderful things for people, and he told me that fame is different than fortune. A lot of people can know who you are. A lot of people you can get a lot of hits, clicks, and views, but it doesn't pay your bills. Try making a car payment with, hey, I got 1,000 hits on this website, or 1,000 clicks on this video, or I got 5,000 likes on Facebook. See if that will make your car payment or mortgage payment, or put you through school. It doesn't. That's why you have to learn sales, and sales is risking. You know the reason why the most successful salespeople are successful? They ask for the sale. They don't leave it in the hands of the prospect. They ask the person, would you like to buy this today? I can go in the back and get this for you. Would you like 2 or 3 of them? What's a better time for me to deliver this? Tomorrow or Saturday? How do you want to make that payment? Cash or credit? Can I show you the next model? People ask for the sale, and that takes a risk. That's risky, because it's almost like the why am I afraid to tell you who I am? A lot of times we don't go that far because we're afraid of what someone thinks. Go for it, man. Are you in sales? If you're not in sales, I would encourage you to go to sales. Somehow, even if it's just at a small level, in a small store somewhere, retail. Everybody needs to take 2 types of jobs in their lifetime. Number 1, you need to take a sales job, because you need to learn how to present things in the best light. You need to, like when I learned, in my sales training, I learned a very unique method. I'll just share this with you, and it makes a huge difference in selling for me. When you sell, you're selling features and benefits. Take it one step further. Sell the impact of that item or that service on the person's life. Describe for them what their life will be like after that particular item or service is purchased. The impact of that item on their life. FBI, features, benefit, impact. Okay? So you need to take two types of jobs, a sales job and you need to take a service job. A service job is something where you're serving people and something where you're getting tips. You need that. Bartender, waiter, hairdresser, barber, limo driver. Something where your tips are directly related to the amount of service and the type of service and the level, the quality of service that you're providing. I've always been one of the highest earning service people that I've ever known. As far as my tips are always the highest, and it's not because of anything except pure service and creating a great experience. If you just take a service job for a couple months, what you're going to learn in a service job, and I say like drive limo or do something where you can see the direct result of people's happiness. When are they going to pull a 5 out of their pocket, a 10 out of their pocket, a 20 out of their pocket? How are they going to reward you? Usually your great service ends up with a nice tip. I know when I give somebody a haircut, the tip that makes me smile is a $20 tip. I like a 20 and up. Other tips I'm very thankful for because I encourage people to give what they can afford plus a little bit more. I know I do. So here's the thing. Risk. You learn risk by taking a sales job. And you learn risk by taking a service job. Even if you worked each job for 3 months and took notes as to what you're learning and how the experience is benefiting you, and the word that I've used in the past is the takeaway. What is the takeaway? What is the one benefit? What is that nugget of information that is actionable? Something that you can use to better your life and your career. It's going to be really hot today, man. They say it's going to be 96 degrees and humid, and I can feel it already. It's crazy. All right. Everything you want is on the other side of risk. Take risk. You need to be taking risks. You need to be aiming a little bit higher. It's like, it's almost, here's a great example. When people say, how do you, when I'm showing a guy how to handlebar his mustache, and I'm going all natural this week. This is Fluffy Beard Friday, but it's actually been a Fluffy Beard week for me. But when you do a handlebar mustache, always over-direct the ends. Because if I go this high, 2 hours later, there's a possibility the mustache will be down to here. It's going to settle a little bit. It's kind of like the law of entropy. Entropy means everything, like a spinning top that's spinning real fast, eventually slows down and wobbles and falls over. Things that are glowing red hot eventually become cool. Things that are high end up becoming low. It happens. Gravity has an effect on it. So always over-direct. Over-direct. A lot of times, those of you that are into rifle shooting and firearms and target shooting, that type of thing, I was raised around guns. I'm very comfortable around firearms. And one of the things you always do is you can either aim a little bit higher, depending on your distance, aim a tiny bit higher than your target if you're going for the bullseye, because the trajectory is going to go, the bullet is going to come down a little bit depending on the velocity, depending on the power of the actual ammunition, depending on your distance. So you take into consideration everything from wind conditions to distance to the amount of power or powder in the shell gives a projectile its power. And you guys who are firearms enthusiasts, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You take into conditions many things, and then you compensate or over-direct your aim, knowing where it's going to land, knowing it's going to hit its target. It's the same thing in your financial world and career goal. Aim higher. Aim higher than, for instance, if you want to if you want a Harley Davidson, let's just say you're a Harley fan, and you say, well, I want a 1200, but I'll settle for an 883. I say, forget that, man. Go big. Just go big. Go for the bagger. Go for the Road King. And then if you end up with a model below that, then you've exceeded your goals. Don't settle for anything. You know, if you're looking at it in 883, like for instance, a lot of people say, well, it's a great entry level. Yeah, but you know what? You're going to get tired of it if that's how you are. I know that's how it was for me. It's just not enough power for you, and you need something. You just wanted something to get in the game. Now you have to upgrade, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not condemning anyone for that decision-making process. All right, I work in a damn mall, man. I'm getting ready to go to work in a mall. It's hot as hell in a mall. Cut hair and trim beards. Yesterday, man, I did so many beards yesterday. Big beards. You know, I'm the big beard guy. Guys come to me for the big beard. They don't come to me to get lined up. That's a fact. You have a phenomenal day. Risk. Go a little bit farther. Aim a little bit higher. Everything you want is on the other side of that line called risk. Friggin' do it. Have a great day.